The date is 20 August 1911, and it is a very hot summer evening in Paris. For weeks, an intense heat wave has turned the city into a microwave. The streets are empty, and the Louvre Museum is very quiet. No one dares to step outside due to the heat. But for this one man, this is the perfect moment. Tonight, he is about to do the most unimaginable and daring heist. After planning through the entire night, he snatches the Mona Lisa from the Louvre Museum and vanishes. This heist sends shockwaves across the world. The French authorities take 2 whole years to crack this case. The police chase countless dead ends and even arrest some very famous personalities. But in the end, a mysterious letter finally exposes the mastermind behind this entire heist. We've joined these pieces together so that you can know the full story of how a man stole Mona Lisa, nearly got away with it without being caught, and eventually this heist came out decades later. It's 20 August 1911, a Sunday evening, and the last visitors exit the Louvre Museum. The museum is just about to close. A man enters. He's wearing a white uniform, that is the standard uniform for the staff, and he casually walks inside. He blends in effortlessly and nobody thinks anything about it. Then he quietly walks into a small storage room and stays in the entire night. Now it's the next day, 21st August. It is a Monday, and Monday is a public holiday, which means that there will be very few staff members. So the next morning, at exactly 7:15 a.m., the thief comes out from his hiding spot. The museum is nearly empty, and he heads straight to Salon Care. This is the room in the Louvre Museum where the Mona Lisa painting is there. At that time, Mona Lisa wasn't there in a very high security chamber, nor was it very famous as it is now. But everything is about to change. Okay, let's move into the scene. The thief then lifts the painting from the wall, makes his way into a nearby staircase, and carefully removes the protective frame on the painting. He then wraps the artwork in a white cloth and moves towards the exit. But as he reaches the exit door, he sees a problem. The door is locked. But just then, a museum plumber happens to pass by. But assuming the thief is a worker, he opens the door without hesitation. And just like that, with the Mona Lisa tucked under his arm, the thief slips into the city. The most unbelievable part? No one even notices that the painting has been missing for more than 28 hours. Since photographers frequently visit the museum and take pictures of various artworks that they remove from the places, and after taking the pictures with them, they put them back. So an empty space on the wall doesn't alarm anyone in the beginning. But when a photographer finally notices that the Mona Lisa is gone, everyone panics. Police run into the museum and detectives search through every inch. When the Louvre officially announces that the Mona Lisa has been stolen, the world is stunned. Investigators discover only an empty wooden frame and a single fingerprint. Newspapers offer $250,000 or 2 crore rupees in today's time reward for any useful information. Thousands of people come forward with wild theories, and here are some. Some claim that the painting is on a train that is going to Belgium, while others say that it has been smuggled onto a ship and headed to America. The most shocking twist? The famous artist Pablo Picasso is suspected. A tip-off informs the police that Picasso has previously brought stolen sculptures from Louvre. The police arrest him. But after investigation, they find no links to the Mona Lisa. Another wild suspect was the famous American art collector and banker J.P. Morgan. Rumors suggested that he had done this entire heist just to add the real Mona Lisa to his art collection. Authorities search a ship arriving in New York, but they find nothing. For the next 2 years, the painting remains missing as investigations reach various dead ends. But the truth is something that no one could have guessed. Even I was shocked when I found this out. The Mona Lisa was hidden just 3 kilometers from the Louvre, inside a tiny apartment. Okay, let's get to that story. The apartment belonged to an Italian man named Vincenzo Perugia, who had previously worked at the Louvre. He knew every corner of the museum. In fact, he had himself built the protective case, which he removed very easily. And the funniest part, his fingerprints were already available with the police records, but only from his right hand. And the fingerprint which he had left on the protective case was from his left hand. That is why it took so much time for the investigators to connect all of these dots. They even searched his apartment twice but never found the painting. Okay, coming back to the story. Now 2 years have passed. Now it is the year 1930. Perugia grew restless. So he contacted an art dealer in Florence, claiming it was time to return the Mona Lisa to Italy. He also signed the letter as Leonardo. He made his way to Florence. But when the dealers arrived at his hotel, he proudly opened his trunk, and there it was, the real Mona Lisa. But the dealers were sharp. They said that they needed to verify whether it was real, so they took the painting to their studio. An hour later, police arrived at Perugia's door, and he was arrested on the spot. He served prison for 7 months, and 10 years later, he died. And that is it. No, but the story doesn't end here. In 1932, another shocking revelation surfaced. A journalist named Carl Decker revealed that Perugia wasn't the actual mastermind behind this Mona Lisa heist. An art expert named Eduardo de Wolferno, who used to create fake replicas, was. Wolferno had commissioned 6 exact replicas of the Mona Lisa and sold each one of them to wealthy American millionaires. To convince them that they were buying the real masterpiece, he had to make the original vanish. Perugia was merely a pawn in his grand scheme. The deception worked well, and the 3 con men walked away with what would be worth 777 crore Indian rupees today and disappeared forever. And that, my friends, is the story of the wild Mona Lisa heist.